What up, nerds? I want to talk to you about something super cool. So, if you remember eons ago, and by eons I mean not too long ago, back to November 11th, 2016, a few months ago, Nintendo launched the most coveted thing for all nerds, the NES Classic. This was a sweet little device that fits in the palm of your hand that had like 30 amazing Nintendo classics on it. Everybody lost their minds. People were just beating each other up, tearing each other's throats out to get this piece of machinery. But you and I, Tim, Gordy, everybody, nobody could find it. It was elusive. And it's elusive to this day. We still don't have one. I've never even seen one in the stores. But I kind of wanted to come, sit down here, and talk to you about something better. Because with the Switch launching in a couple days, who knows what kind of new Nintendo frustrations you're gonna have. You're gonna go to the store, you're thinking, I didn't pre-order the Switch, I'll go and buy one. Surely Nintendo learned from their mistakes with the Mini. No, you're not gonna be able to find one of those either unless you pre-ordered. So let me ease your stresses. If you wanna get into something Nintendo, or just classic game in general, allow me to show you something titties. We're just gonna go here, and we're gonna go magic. What is this amazing little piece of machinery that looks like a slimy Nintendo 64? It weighs almost nothing, but yet it is everything. Guys, this is my custom-made Raspberry Pi 3 RetroPie machine. In it is a Raspberry Pi Model 3B, and on here I have every Nintendo game ever made, including in the Japanese releases that never came here. Same with Super Nintendo, same with Sega Genesis. I have quite a few Nintendo 64 games, and I have just a plethora of PlayStation 1 games. So, all in all, we're talking like 3,000 plus games right here in the palm of my hand. And I didn't have to go wait in line. I didn't have to beat up a 9-year-old for this. I made it. I ordered the parts online, put it together. I was inspired by a few things. I was inspired, first of all, by Mr. Sajano, who's a fan and he's a big friend of ours. And he has a YouTube channel that just talks about like emulators and stuff like that. And it's really good. And he has like this new First to 5 thing where he talks about retro games. It's really good. I want you to check out his channel. Link is above and it's also in the description. But anyway, he kind of got me on a spark of emulators and retro gaming. I'm like, man, I want to play some old games. I was playing my old Samurai Showdowns and stuff. And then Boss Battle Tim, if you recall from our game night that we did a few weeks ago, he went to a wedding and he was gifted something very similar in a little NES box loaded with all the NES games, all the Super Nintendo games, all the Genesis games. And boy, did it freak me out. I was like, I gotta get me one of those. So I did my research, I ordered all the pieces, and I put it together. And let me tell you about just a little bit about my process. Now, there are a billion videos out there that will better explain the process and kind of walk you through everything you need to do, but I will just kind of walk you through the steps that I did, and then we'll go through something exciting.
All right, obviously your first step is to have an insatiable sexual desire for retro gaming. Check. Second step, obviously, is the most important part of the whole shebang. You need a Raspberry Pi 3 Model B motherboard. You could indeed get other versions of the Raspberry Pi, but I recommend 3 Model B because if you want to be running more complicated ROMs such as PlayStation, the lower models aren't going to be able to crack it. So get yourself a 3 Model B. You are also going to need a 2.5 amp micro USB power supply. That's important. You'll also need a micro SD card because that's what you're going to install the RetroPie on. You could get away with a 32 gigabyte, but I recommend a 64 so you can really load up that bad boy with ROMs. If you're feeling saucy, you might want to snag a couple of heat sinks too and put those in. Not always necessary, but it does run a little warm when you're going crazy with PlayStation or MAME or something like that. Cases aren't always necessary, but you don't want to get your motherboard all screwy. I got my case on Etsy, something really cool. And of course, if you have a 3D printer, you can download some CAD files and make your own.
Jeez. It's so bad.
Okay, so I am thinking this is just a monumental piece of equipment. It's so groundbreaking to think that back in the day you had your Super Nintendo and you had your Nintendo and your Genesis and everything was just a big hulking system like they are now. All of those compacted into this little thing. Guys, we are in the future! The fucking future! But so I'm thinking, we might do some more cool videos on the RetroPie. Me and Hospital Tim were talking about doing some videos, but I'm thinking in April, are you listening? In April, I think it might be fun for our R24 giveaway. If you've been paying attention, we're doing giveaways every month now. In March, we're giving away the Quamba drone, as you know. We've already talked about how to get in on that. And I'm thinking for April, we'll put together an R24 related RetroPie machine loaded with all your favorite classics, and we'll give it away in April. What do you think about that? Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about this machine, what you think about the RetroPie, and what you think about owning one that will be like signed and by me, Boss Battle Tim, Boss Battle Gordy, and winning this little piece of history and your childhood in the palm of my hands. I'll treat it nicely, don't you worry. You know what though? Like the video, boom, down there. Subscribe to the video, boom, down there, because those are the ways you can get in to win one of these. Guys, we'll see you soon, you nerds, you dirty nerds. You want one of these? I know you do, you